Hat er den Controller jetzt schon angenommen? Ja, hat er. Hat er. Gut. Eine Sache, die ich schon gemerkt habe, ist die Tatsache, dass nicht die X-Taste hier das Menü bestätigt, sondern die Kreistaste. Wer kommt auf diese Idee? Was? Ich spiele zum ersten Mal Metal Gear Solid. Ja. Denn die beiden, ich habe keine Ahnung, was es bedeutet. Auf dem Schwierigkeitsgrad normal. Ich hoffe, das ist jetzt nicht schwer. Beschwer dich bei fucking Nintendo mit der Idee? Mit der Kreistaste?
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Mhm. Mit so einer Stimme kannst du alles vorlesen und das klingt geil. Da kannst du auch eine Einkaufsliste vorlesen und sagen, so weiß ich, Bananas, Apple. Wenn du so mit so einer Stimme was vorliest, ist das immer geil. Ist schon Retro, wann kam es raus? Wann ist Retro? 2004 kam es raus. Das ist knapp 20 Jahre her. Ist es Retro? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Ich hab's jetzt zur Retro gemacht. I don't care. Für mich ist das jetzt Retro.
Flying over Pakistan. Altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass.
Ready or not. Ja, er kam.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Wenn einer so eine Narbe hat, möchte ich immer wissen, warum. Wow kam auch 2004 raus. Das Wow ist Retro. Ja, guck dir Wow mal an. Das sieht ja auch Retro aus.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector.
Ja, connecting
Put
hose.
on your mask. Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Ist ja nicht so, dass Rauchen in Flugzeugen ohnehin verboten ist.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Sunrise.
Offensichtlich. Oder die Welt brennt. Eins von beiden.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius.
Oh,
2 minutes
frisch.
to drop off. Stand up.
Ein wunderschöner Frühlingsmorgen, ne? Minus
You'll be
46
falling at
Grad.
130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by.
Shikatsu
Status
Matsuhana.
okay. All green.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
Bye, bye. Wenn man einfach nur cool sein will, ne? Tja,
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the Virtuous Mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the Virtuous Mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov.
Überhaupt kein komplizierter
He's head
Name.
of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities,
Aha.
and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Ein Nazi.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same.
Ich? Nee, ein Russe. Nein.
On April the 12th, 1961,
Hört mir einfach nicht
the
zu.
Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth
Macht's wie
was
immer, hört mir
blue,
einfach nicht zu.
But there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
So wie der die
Call it
Atombombe
a
mit zu
crisis of
verantworten hat, ne?
conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. We used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was
Good.
the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962.
Geschichtsunterricht,
President
Leute.
Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The president demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval
Haben
blockade
wir das
to
eigentlich
prevent
gemacht am
further
Ende?
missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger
So viel
standoff.
Geschichtsunterricht.
Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba,
Okay.
and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
Das habt ihr aber nicht wirklich gemacht.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side.
Oh
Sokolov
je.
kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight.
Armer Sokolov.
Then, a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a
Das ist, glaube
secret
ich, aber auch
weapon
echt
so big
gewesen.
that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selino-Yask, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
Okay.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility.
Mhm.
This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Viel Information. Viele Infos. Ich will ein Baller-Videospiel. Ich will keine Geschichte, ich will schießen. Ich verstehe schon, Icarus, ich verstehe schon, du willst Action. Mal gucken, ob es Action gibt, wenn ich das Spiel spiele.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino-Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west.
Mhm.
If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is
Einwürfe mit
complete,
Namen
we'll be facing a
Viel
major
Erfolg
crisis.
bei
The
Civilization.
clock is ticking.
Ich hoffe, du eroberst die Welt.
Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once
Okay.
it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with 2 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as 2 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast,
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Okay. Er muss ohne Widerworte meine Handelsanfragen annehmen. Das war die Bedingung. Was? Nein. Nicht wirklich, oder? Wenn du das ernst meinst, dann... Wenn du es wirklich ernst meinst, ist das traurig. Ja, wow. Toller Elite-Soldat. Fast schon eine Superheldenlandung. Fast. Da ist ein Kappa hinter, aber lustig wär's. Ja, aber du hast immer einen Kappa darunter, ne? Elite-Soldat gerade aus der Ausbildung. Naja. Trotzdem sind auch Elite-Soldaten frisch aus der Ausbildung schon eigentlich echt nicht schlecht. Ach, der sieht noch so schön jung und frisch und unverletzt aus. Wenn ich überlege, wie er bei Metal Gear Solid 4 aussieht, was ich gespielt habe. Dagegen ist das hier Sexy Snake.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
Oh, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training.
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom.
Major Tom.
This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button.
So
I'll be
funktioniert das auch in
monitoring your
echt, ne?
progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you.
Muss ich mir das
If you need
aufschreiben?
to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Offensichtlich nicht. Soll ich dazu etwas spoilern? Also das spoilert nicht das Spiel, aber was Allgemeines. Ist das denn derselbe Snake? Gibt ja irgendwie 3 oder 4 Stück. Naja, gibt ja Klone, ne? Ich habe keine Ahnung, ob es derselbe Snake ist. Wahrscheinlich nicht. Das ist das Original, der in Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 4 ist einer seiner Klone, ja. Okay. Ey, oh Michael, Hallöchen. Aha. Aha. Tschu, 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 tschu. Okay. Überlebensmesser für Nahkampf. Mit der Viertaste Hieb zu führen zum Zustechen. Ah. Ach, da. Okay. Was ist denn die Action-Taste? Das ist die Action-Taste. Dreieck ist die Action-Taste. Spoilert doch nicht. Ne, das ist kein Spoiler, das wusste ich ja schon. Okay. Dingelingeling, dingelingeling.
I see you've retrieved
Nanu,
your
nanu.
backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission.
Gut, wenn man
After you've been
einem...
out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance.
Aha.
You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger-happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose.
Fake
SIS
death
guidelines
pill.
stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Okay.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So how do I come back to life?
Was hat
Just
Zeit.
take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the
Was?
mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind.
Okay.
You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance.
Okay.
The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Hello, paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's
Das
also
muss ich
in
mir
charge
nicht
of
merken,
recording
oder?
your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Huh?
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor.
Ist das nicht
Actually,
der
it was the boss
Böse?
that got the DCI's authorization
Teil
in the
4?
first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Nee, gar nicht. Banane.
Bosses?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me.
Oh.
Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
Du zählst Stunden?
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission.
Hmm.
You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top-secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his
Das stimmt
place to
nicht.
question why. But you're
Das
looking
stimmt
for a
nicht.
reason to fight. You are a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done.
Nur als Info, das Spiel spielt 64, Metal Gear Solid 4 2014.
Sooner or later, your
Ja, dann
conscience
ist es
is
nicht
going
der
to
gleiche
bother you.
Snake.
In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a
Dazwischen
gun.
sind einfach mal
There's a saying in the
50
Orient,
Jahre.
loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Dass die so eine, mitten in einer Mission so eine
People's
philosophische
values
Diskussion
change
gerade
over
führen.
time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing
Klar, machen
in
wir noch so,
anything,
oder? Ja,
even
ja.
in those we
natürlich.
love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think.
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right.
The
But do
Mission.
me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes,
It's good to hear your voice again.
same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC. Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember. After all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine
Klar,
in the Arctic
natürlich.
Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position.
Okay, nördlich.
Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Stealth kann ich gut. Bestimmt.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Commencing Virtuose Mission now.
Irgendwie ist die Stimme anstrengend von The Boss. Wieso? Ernsthaft? Richtmikro. Remochi Sumpfgegend. Von Snake? Na, die von Snake ist super geil. Das Problem ist, die Snake-Stimme passt meines Erachtens aktuell mehr zu so einem richtigen Kriegsveteranen, so vom Reden her. Und dadurch, dass das so ein Greenhorn ist, ist das ein bisschen over. Sonar. DEW, MDLA. Personenmelder. Doppel-Lepel, Permapel. Aha. Spiel das Spiel mit dem Krokodil.
Snake, you have to get up! Snake! Snake!
Ah. Ah. Ich habe gerade nicht gedacht, dass das so ein Sumpf ist. Aber anscheinend schon. Klingt wie so ein Typ, der auf cool machen will, irgendwie so gekünstelt. Ja, ich glaube, der hat so eine Stimme einfach. Dieses leicht rauchige, verruchte, keine Ahnung, wie man es. Kill it! Kill it! Mach eine Handtasche draus. Hä? Was? Rückkribbel. Was ist ein Rückkribbel? Was ist ein Rückkribbel? Oh, fuck. Der ist ein Kroko. Ha? Okay. Ich spiele das Spiel mit dem Kroko. Oh, und Snake ist dead. Was da? Nix. Doch eine Schlange. Snake! Offensichtlich nicht Snake. Remochi Nord. Okay. Dschungel und Crocs in Russland. Okay, ich habe mehr Fragen als zuvor. Was haben die Sowjets denn nur gemacht, um aus der Steppe dann den Ural zu machen? Sind wir in Russland? Oder sind wir nur in ehemalig, also in ehemalig russisch besetztem Gebiet?
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Okay.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how
Also ich
well
darf die
you
nicht
use your
töten.
camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the Survival Viewer. The Uniform option lets you pick your uniform, while the Face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed.
Ja.
You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the Camo Index.
Das kenne ich nur aus dem anderen
The
Spiel.
Camo Index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Mhm. Also wie, du hast was gegoogelt? Krokodile in Russland. Und was bekommst du? 120 Kilo Frau fällt auf Krokodil. Ich google. Ja, ich gebe Icarus recht. Falscher Knopf. Mal gucken, wie oft ich noch X drücke, anstatt Kreis für was zu bestätigen. Uniform. Ja. Was? Warum ist denn Italienisch? Keine Ahnung. Kann dir auch keiner beantworten, oder? Rucksack. Nahrung. Ganges Gavial. Noch nicht gegessen, Geschmack unbekannt. Ich würde es gern garen. Ich würd nicht einfach das Ding essen. Murmansk. Das ist ein 2 Meter langes Krokodilweibchen Fjoda reist in der Region Murmansk an Bord eines kleinen Busses. Da fehlt die daneben sitzend 120 Kilogramm schwere Buchhalterin des sowjetischen Zirkus auf das Reptil. Der Wagen war durch ein Schlagloch geholpert. Als das Unglück geschah, erläuterte Direktor Wassili Kolos am Mittwoch in Murmansk der Agentur RIA Novosti. Das Krokodil habe sich danach 3 Stunden lang immer wieder erbrochen, weshalb sein Wärter um sein Leben bangte. Gehirnerschütterung, würde ich sagen, ne?
Who's that?
This is HQ. Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements.
Kill ihn doch! Klappt ja super. You can't see me. I'm invisible. I'm fucking invisible, my friends. Im Mutterland Russland, da ist Krokodil nicht die Buchhalterin, sondern die Buchhalterin macht aus dem Krokodil Funko. Also Snake ist auf jeden Fall ultra robust, ne? Bye bye. Was? Der KGB-Agent, warum fuchtelt der Typ mit seinem Messer von mir rum? Ja, das ist ein Snake. Da. Ja, es ist echt, also der bräuchte einen gezielten Schlag und dann wäre der Typ tot. Aber nein, das Spiel sagt sich, nö. Warum kann dieser Soldat eigentlich nicht wie andere in der Hocke gehen? Der kann nur kriechen. Auf normal spielen wir.